bit of that payback against the Bengals, who didn't want to pay him. Fowler filers are open. Okay, so the Trey Hendrickson story, there's certainly another side of that, because that could have, would have, should have been Maxx Crosby just about a week ago. So what now is the situation with Maxx Crosby and the Las Vegas Raiders?
Like our guy Randy Scott, Maxx Crosby is 100% a Raider. He has told the team that since the trade got reversed. He said, look, I'm all in for 2026. If you will have me, let's roll. I will be healthy, ready to play, and give you my best and have a banner season. So talking to sources with the Raiders, they do expect, at least right now, for him to be on the team and with them as they move forward. They've loosened the salary cap. They had to make a lot of signings in free agency thinking they wouldn't have Max. Now they do, but they made the adjustments. Their roster is better. I'm told he likes the free agent additions they made to improve the roster. So everybody seems like they're in a good spot. But since they've already looked at trading them, they're open to that possibility potentially if the right offer would come. We're looking at timelines here. Now is going to be a little slow, but you got closer to the draft. Perhaps, you know, trade offers will heat up or maybe even closer to the season. But right now he's a Raider, and that's expected for at least a little while. There are needs to fill certainly in Vegas, a glaring one, quarterback. What are some potential options beyond the draft in Vegas? I'm going to start with Joe Flacco, who's been around. He's started a lot of games. He is available. He is weighing options right now. Speaking of Vegas, I'm told that that is an option for him, that they would have interest in potentially bringing him along as a backup / bridge if Fernando Mendoza needs to sit a little bit, assuming they draft him, which they will. But he's also got some other options, including Cincinnati, coming back to be Joe Burrow's backup. He really liked it there, so that could ultimately be the play if he signs somewhere next week. Then you got Kirk Cousins. This is a little bit different for him in the past. As a free agent, he used to be the belle of the ball. Right now, he's more in wait-and-see mode. You know, he could maybe go to a place where there's already a starter, but they're injured, like Indianapolis with Daniel Jones, Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes is a good opportunity if he's not ready coming off that ACL in week 1. And last year, you got Kyler Murray. So this is kind of manna from heaven for the Vikings. They get him on the cheap. League minimum $1 million a year because Arizona's paying him all that guaranteed money. He's got Pro Bowl pedigree. They were looking for a veteran in the room to be established. Look, they told me that they haven't given up on J.J. McCarthy. They're still hopeful there, but you know how this goes sometimes when you start seeing other people. It's probably going to be similar to what the Colts did last year. They get Daniel Jones, but they had Anthony Richardson. They battled it out in camp, and the veteran won the job. Kyler Murray mentioned in his introductory press conference with the Vikings how he loved them as a kid and cried real tears whenever Brett Favre threw that interception, to which Randy Scott said, "Interception? Which one, Brett Favre?" Jeremy Fowler joining us with the files. The Baltimore Ravens got their guy. Then they got their other guy. Trey Hendrickson introduces Baltimore's newest closer, 4-year, $112 million, 60 M's guaranteed. Ravens paying for performance, 4th most sacks in the league since 2021, only behind Miles, TJ Watt, and Micah Parsons. So for the Ravens, Trey is now their numero uno.
I'm in a win now window, right? Being at my career has been phenomenal, and I've been so blessed to meet great people and win a lot of games with Drew Brees and Joe Burrow. But this opportunity to hoist the Lombardi Trophy and get into the win column and build something from the ground up is an amazing opportunity. If you can't get excited to play here, you need to check your pulse, you know, because this is a tremendous opportunity for my family. We're excited and completely blessed and blown away by the welcoming.
Decided the right course of action was to move forward with the trade.
I'm going to Baltimore. I'm going there with one purpose, winning the Super Bowl.
The enormous breaking news, the Maxx Crosby trade has been called off. The Ravens did not feel comfortable to pass him on that physical. So now that leaves us in certainly an unusual spot because Maxx Crosby is now a Raider, and the Ravens have their first-round picks back. As we open the show by talking about this from the Ravens' perspective, with RC here today, RC, I'm going to ask you to explain someone else's tweet today, as opposed to your own, which you normally do. Maxx Crosby posted this last night. Everything happens for a reason. Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. I'm a Raider. I'm back. Run that stuff. He says, RC. Was there a better way to do that?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Fair enough.
First of all, what he's saying is the Ravens is playing in my face.
Okay.
Right? That's also something you don't understand.
Yeah,
correct. Right? So first he's saying the Ravens playing in my face, and he's like, I'm not hurt. I'm not banged up. I'm going to be ready to play. And then the end of it here is translated this way. I ain't really got no choice but to be back in Las Vegas.
Right.
So since I'm back in Las Vegas, when I say run that stuff, that means as long as I'm here, I'm going to play hard as hell, even if we don't win, until I get traded. Hopefully, I hope so. Please, God. Thank you.
Okay.
Somebody gonna pay.
Excellent explanation of the tweet. So, that to me is the interesting part of this, Graziano. Maxx Crosby, that trade is called off. We understand all the complications that exist now, not the least of which is Maxx Crosby is a man who has been traded and returned to the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think we know him, without even knowing him, to be sort of a prideful guy. This is a complicated situation. Will he still be traded?
I mean, again, I wish I could give you a concrete answer. Right now, they're hearing from teams that want to take advantage of an opportunity and get him for less, far less probably, than what Baltimore was going to give up. So wisely, the Raiders will hold off. They can fit him under their cap. They can fit him on their budget. So there's nothing for them to do right now other than wait. As he gets healthier, if they start to hear from teams with a price that's more acceptable to them, absolutely this could be revisited. But right now is probably the absolute lowest point of his value as a trade asset, and the Raiders don't have any particular need to get rid of him, so I think they'll wait it out.
Greeny, I don't know what type of life you had growing up.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But my parents worked hard.
I think you do.
My parents worked hard though, but we didn't have a lot of money.
Right.
Right. There was this thing called layaway. Okay. I don't know if you know what layaway is.
I do,
right?
actually.
Yeah.
Yes,
So layaway, you could pay on it until you could get it. Yeah. But what happened was he was on layaway for the Baltimore Ravens, right? And then they went a couple of weeks, a couple of days went, and they was like, I don't want to pay for this anymore. I don't want to get this off layaway. So now they put it back on the rack at Walmart. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what happens is usually when it's on layaway, they don't tell the people it's on layaway. We all knew Maxx was on layaway, right? And we all know now that Maxx was a little defective. So what Maxx has to do is sit on the rack long enough so he's no longer the thing that was on layaway that wasn't bought. And when it gets to that point, that's when Maxx can see if they can go, or that's when Spy Tech can see if they can go seek the proper compensation for Maxx Crosby.
So, Greeny, Walmart is a place.
I've heard of that,
The thing about the Maxx Crosby situation is there's no pressure because of the cap situation. There's no pressure on the Raiders to make the deal now. Yeah. The Raiders are going to be waiting, I would guess, until someone else is desperate, which will shoot the price up. They might wait till getting close to the draft when someone really wants to move something there, getting close to the trade deadline, or if there's an injury during training camp. If a team goes on a big run and loses their pass rusher, or it seems like they could be helped by Maxx Crosby, then another team will be desperate and their price will go up. There's no rush for them. They can fit him under the cap. He plays well. He probably value will go up if he gets healthy and they put him on the field. He wrecks one game. You're like, you know what? Them 2 first-round picks sound kind of good. I'm the Bills. We're having a good run right now. You know, it'd be nice. We could
add him.
Take Brandon Bean. A little bit of pressure on you. Take these picks. Take all these picks because Maxx gonna get me to the bowl.
And the other thing is too, when it gets to that point, some of these teams will be in a situation where they know if I'm a Maxx Crosby away from winning a championship, they know because as Dan said, maybe it's that I don't have Maxx Crosby for the next 5 to 7 years. Maybe I only have him for 1 or 2 or 3 where I see him play at this height and my team built around him can go win it right now. That's not necessarily a desperate team, but that's an excited team. That's a team that's willing to give you those picks because just like we saw with the Rams years ago, you're willing to go get that player if it equals a Lombardi trophy.
But just to make clear what I'm hearing from them, today's March 12th. The things you're talking about don't happen for months. As Schefter said the other day, no one's playing Sunday. So the things we're talking about here, that extends well beyond even this year's draft, which is 6 or 7 weeks away. You think it could extend past that time?
Absolutely. I mean, if I'm the Raiders, I'm not in a rush to do it because, A, the value is low, and B, like to rush ahead of this draft when everybody's yelling about next year's draft, like that next year's first-round pick is going to be more valuable. So I think it's smart of them to wait, and that's what I expect them to do.
And also, Maxx said run this S, which means he's comfortable with staying there. Like there's no pressure forcing them to make a deal that they don't want to make at this point.
I get that part of it. Here's how I interpreted, at least partially, what Maxx Crosby tweeted. If he had come out and said something like, or even in his actions. I'm never going back there. I'm not going to make Now he's completely destroying them. Now everyone knows that not only is he damaged goods, but he doesn't want to be there, so it would have destroyed any leverage they had whatsoever. That felt to me like him working with the Raiders to sort of help them find the best trade they could find.
Like that's not Maxx Crosby's character. No. Right? Maxx Crosby is a leader. Maxx Crosby is a dude, when you were watching the Las Vegas Raiders and you knew good and damn well they didn't have a chance to win, that guy played winning football.
Yeah.
So there's no way as a leader at that position, there's no way as a guy that's overcome what he's overcome, 6 years sober recently, that you're going to put something out about yourself that doesn't show that level of character. Right. But he also knows this too. I got to now go out and play. Yeah. I got to show that I'm this person, because if there is a little doubt about how healthy I can be, everything about me matters. More importantly, when I get back on the field, when they cut this film on, they need to see the same MVP or Defensive Player of the Year caliber player that they have seen from me in the last few years.
I've got the place. I've got the spot where this all could come together. I'm going to connect a bunch of dots. Let me start by rolling C21. Our next stop is Philadelphia.